money doesn't grow on trees. Well, this lie gets planted in school, and it totally conditions us to follow a very specific traditional path. You know the drill: get a job, get a mortgage, and work literally every waking hour just to earn enough money to finally retire at 67. But if you look at highly successful individuals, there is clearly something else going on. They have an escape plan. They've figured out ways to make money that don't rely on working day in and day out. So today, we're breaking down 7 highly effective passive income ideas for 2026 that can completely change your financial trajectory.
Okay, let's dive right into this. We are going to organize these 7 ideas across 5 core themes: escaping the traditional path, investing your capital, building digital assets, leveraging online influence, and renting out your assets.
So, Section 1, Escaping the Traditional Path. Rethinking how you make money.
Rethinking how you actually make your money is the absolute critical first step before you can deploy any of these strategies. To escape that 67-year retirement trap, we need a really strict definition of what we're building here. See, a lot of people think buying a stock and watching it go up in value is passive income. It's not. If you have to sell your asset to get your cash out, well, that's just a nice bonus. True passive income is actual, predictable money flowing directly into your bank account every single month, all without ever having to liquidate the underlying asset that's generating that money. Basically, you keep the golden goose and you just collect the eggs.
Moving on to Section 2, Investing your capital, making your money work for you.
When you invest your capital, you want your money doing the heavy lifting for you. So let's talk about our first big idea: dividend stocks. When you buy a chunk of a company like Starbucks or Pepsi, they actually pay you a share of the profits. But you've got to pick the right ones. At the absolute top of the hierarchy, we have the dividend kings. These are elite companies that have consistently increased their dividend payouts for 50 years in a row. Right below them are the dividend aristocrats, boasting 25+ years of increases. And then we have what we call the dividend working class. This is where you have to proceed with major caution. A lot of folks get lured into high-risk yield traps with massive promised payouts that simply aren't sustainable long-term. To get started easily, apps like Moomoo in the US or Lightyear in Europe are fantastic, really straightforward tools.
So, what does it actually take to make meaningful money here? Let's anchor this with some exact math. If you want to make just $100 a week, which is about $5,200 a year, and you invest in a solid company like Starbucks with an annual dividend yield of 2.4%, you need to invest exactly $26,666. That is why dividend investing gets a massive 5 out of 5 rating for the amount of upfront money required. It takes 0 time, which is great, but you definitely need significant capital to get the ball rolling.
Now, if you don't want to tie up that much capital in public stocks, our second idea is private investing. Actor Ryan Reynolds has a completely genius strategy for this. He isn't just an actor. He finds interesting private companies, buys a small percentage as an angel investor, uses his huge audience to drive up the brand's value, and then cashes out massive checks when the company sells. In the private investing world, you can be an angel, investing smaller amounts in friends' businesses without wanting control, or you can be a shark, investing with much deeper pockets and taking control to force profitability.
When we compare these two capital investment strategies, the dynamic shifts significantly. Like we said, dividend stocks require a 5 out of 5 for upfront money. However, private investing only requires a 3 out of 5. Why is that? Because getting in on the ground floor of a startup or a local business costs substantially less money upfront. I mean, you could invest $1,000 to $5,000 to help a local entrepreneur buy new equipment in exchange for a slice of their weekly profits. You need less capital, but just be aware the trade-off is that it carries much higher risk than buying into an established dividend king.
All right, Section 3, Building Digital Assets. Trading time today for freedom tomorrow.
But what if you're just starting out and, you don't have thousands of dollars in capital to deploy? Well, you have to use sweat equity instead. This highlights the fundamental difference between our third idea, an automated side hustle, and a traditional job. There was this guy named Jamie who ran a fantastic dog training business. He could literally tame the craziest dogs, but he was barely getting by financially. Why? Because he was trapped in a traditional service model. He only had a limited amount of hours to sell and a limited number of dogs he could train in a single day. His earning potential was entirely capped. To achieve true financial freedom, you must turn your knowledge into an automated digital asset that's infinitely scalable over the internet, completely unchaining your income from your daily hours.
Transitioning from a capped service to a scalable digital asset requires 3 really concrete steps. Step 1,
Identify your unfair advantage and the specific problem your target audience has. For Jamie the dog trainer, his unfair advantage was his unique training method. Step 2. Build a digital product around it. Instead of training dogs one-on-one, he should be building a digital course, writing an instructional manual, or even creating a piece of software for other dog trainers. And step 3. Automate the distribution. You set up a subscription model or a passive storefront so that people can buy your knowledge while you're literally fast asleep.
The amazing part is that the barrier to entry for building these assets has honestly never been lower. If you want to build an automated side hustle today, you just need a basic toolkit. You can use Hostinger, which is an all-in-one platform with a brilliant drag-and-drop AI website builder. You literally need zero coding skills for this. And hey, if you happen to use the code Mark Tilbury, you can grab 10% off. Then you can design your actual digital courses and manuals directly on your laptop using a free program like Canva. Finally, to get eyeballs on your product without spending a single dime on ads, you leverage TikTok for highly effective, zero-cost viral marketing.
So the crucial point here is understanding the time commitment required. If you decide to go for our fourth idea, creating a heavy-duty digital software tool or app, it's a massive 5 out of 5 time sink. You have to conceptualize it, maybe partner with a coder, test it, update it. It can take months or even years. However, an automated side hustle, like a digital course built with those drag-and-drop AI tools we just talked about, only requires a 3 out of 5 time commitment. It is significantly faster to launch, making it an incredible way to trade your time today for total financial freedom tomorrow.
Section 4. Leveraging online influence. Capturing your share of the media money pot.
For decades, millions of dollars in advertising were hoarded by traditional TV and radio networks. But the internet completely lifted that curtain, allowing regular people like us to dip into that massive media money pot. And this brings us to idea number 5, online content creation. The concept of advertising is hundreds of years old, but online ads are incredibly trackable. If you want to claim your piece of this pie on a platform like YouTube, there is a concrete baseline you need to hit: 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Once you cross that threshold, you start getting paid for the ads placed on your videos. But here is the real secret. You have to pick a very specific niche. Think of your channel exactly like a TV show. Viewers need to know exactly what kind of characters, topics, and storylines to expect every single time they click on your video.
A huge mistake beginners make is thinking they need thousands of dollars in high-end camera equipment or super expensive courses to start creating content. You absolutely do not. The absolute best philosophy you can adopt is to steal like an artist, become an avid, obsessive consumer of the content in your niche, extract the best formatting, the best pacing, and the best hooks from all those different sources, and then mix them together with your own unique perspective. Your initial investment should be just a 1 out of 5, literally just your smartphone and your unique ideas.
Now, if creating content feels a bit too daunting, you can still leverage influence through idea number 6, affiliate marketing. You're simply sharing custom links to products you already use and love, and you earn a kickback for every single sale. There's this great story about a son's girlfriend who found out a bank was offering $10 for app signups. She literally texted her custom link to 30 friends while sitting in bed and made $300 in a single day. No joke. That is the power of affiliate marketing. To make $100 a week, you just need 10 people to sign up for a $10 promotion. Platforms like Impact.com make it incredibly easy to find these programs, and the average yearly income for dedicated affiliate marketers sits between $66,900 and $124,000. Not too shabby, right?
Finally, Section 5, renting out your assets, monetizing what you already own.
Let's move into our final category, which honestly has the absolute lowest barrier to entry of them all. Most people are sitting on a literal gold mine without even realizing it. This is our 7th idea, and it's a complete game changer: renting out your personal assets. Take a look around your house right now. Almost anything can be turned into a passive income stream today. Take driveways, for example. A friend of mine scoffed at the idea of renting out his driveway, but he lived near a busy train station. Once he listed it, he started making $70 a week per car, bringing in a completely passive $140 a week. You can rent out spare rooms on Airbnb, expensive camera and camping gear on apps like Fat Llama, and your vehicles on Turo. Renting these out actually justifies the cost of buying the asset in the first place.
You can even rent out your existing spare cash. Through peer-to-peer lending platforms, you essentially become the bank, loaning your money out to individuals and earning the interest. For example, Prosper, one of the leading lending platforms, boasts a historical average return of 5.4%. Now, it does carry some risk, of course, but it's a fantastic way to put your dormant cash to work, generating even more cash for your portfolio.
And this just brilliantly illustrates why renting out your assets is the absolute best starting point for almost anyone watching this explainer. The time required is just a 1 out of 5. You just snap some pictures and upload them to an app that literally does all the hard work. The new money required is also a 1 out of 5 because you're leveraging things you already own. It requires virtually zero new capital and zero daily maintenance, yet it can easily put an extra $100 a week straight into your pocket.
So we've covered 7 incredibly powerful passive income ideas for 2026, from dividend stocks and private investing to automated side hustles, online content creation, affiliate marketing, digital tools, and renting out your personal assets. The only question left is, which resource will you leverage first? Will you trade your time to build a digital asset? Will you invest your money in dividends? Or will you rent out the assets you already have sitting around the house? Pick one path today, take immediate action, and be sure to subscribe if you want to continue systematically growing your wealth. I will see you in the next explainer.